Tonight, from the Queen City comes a matchup fit for a king. The 4-1 Carolina Panthers hosting the 4-1 Philadelphia Eagles on Thursday Night Football.
Welcome to NFL Thursday Night Kickoff, presented by Gillette. And here's your host, James Brown.
Panthers fans, much like their team, are ready to keep pounding in tonight's primetime heavyweight NFC showdown. Could we be witnessing a potential playoff matchup? Well, after a tumultuous week, which saw Cam Newton having to apologize for laughing at a question from a female reporter, the 2015 NFL MVP sure played like one on Sunday. Newton put up impressive numbers once again, this time on the road in Detroit. Meanwhile, Eagles quarterback Carson Wentz, he's off to a hot start. He threw for a career-high 4 touchdowns in Philadelphia's Week 5 win over the Arizona Cardinals. His top target, tight end Zach Ertz. The 6'5", 250-pound force leads all tight ends in receptions and receiving yards. And good evening, everyone, and welcome to Thursday Night Football. Tonight's NFC contest is an excellent one. And speaking of excellence, that defines my guys. The winner of Super Bowl 40, that will be Coach Bill Cowher. And, of course, the Hall of Famer Deion Sanders. And, Deion, there's no question that Cam is playing some of his best football. So the question is, has Superman returned?
I'm not quite sure has he returned, which I love this Cam Newton, the one that performs under scrutiny, the one that when his back is up against the wall, he comes out swinging. Look at his statistics. 671 yards passed, 77.4 completion, 7 touchdowns. This is all in the last 2 games. You know, Cam went into Detroit and won. He went into Tom Brady's house and won. Benjamin, Funches, Stewart, and McCaffrey. But who is this guy, Ed Dixon? The guy that went 5 receptions for 175 yards, but I interviewed him on Game Day Prime because, you know, if you ball, you get the call. Yeah. So I called him. Yeah. And he said, Prime, we practice that way. I knew I was going to have a good day. We felt that the practices has been phenomenal. But one thing that I love, oh, my God, this defense too, Coach. Yeah. This defense is ranked number 2 amongst the league. So Carson Wentz, he has his work cut out for him.
His defense is also going to be the best one he's played this year, Prime. When you look at this defense, 17 sacks, tied for 3rd in the league, over 3 a game. And, you know, when you talk about Carson Wentz in his 2nd year, the one thing that he's done, he has a better control of this offense. And when you asked him this week and talked to him, what did you want to do better this year than you did last year? He said, play better situational football. And that is 3rd down in red zone. And you look what he did last week on 3rd down. That is a perfect quarterback rating, 11 of 12, 225 yards and 3 touchdowns, 6 passes on 3rd downs for touchdowns, leads the NFL. And again, when you talk about why is he being so productive, they went out in this free agency. What they did, they got LeGarrette Blount to shore up a running game. Went out and got Alshon Jeffrey and Torrey Smith to help with Nelson Aguilar in the passing game, and it showed up last week. Watch this 3rd down play. You're going to see the presence of him, that being Carson Wentz, in the pocket. He's going to sit here. He feels the rush around him. And again, you can see Nelson Aguilar loves his role right now because Alshon Jeffrey, Zach Ertz, LeGarrette Blount, they kind of freed up. I love the presence. Watch him step up in the pocket and slowly loft this ball on the deep ball. Carson Wentz has gotten more comfortable in this offense, and he's making more plays. A lot of weapons around him, more than he had a year ago. But this defense is pretty good that he's going against, JB.
Some football insight being dropped here, and we know we've had some football wisdom out in Los Angeles, right? So with that in mind, time now to check in with Rich Eisen and his dynamic duo from NFL Network in Los Angeles. Hello, Rich.
Hello, JB. And the only thing more restored than Deion's dome could be the Panthers offense. That's the only segue I could come up with right there. What's the game plan against the Eagles defense tonight, do you think, Panthers offensively?
Listen, they're going to allow the Superman to be Superman. That's what it is. You look at the first 3 games when Superman was not Superman, Cam Newton was not playing at an MVP level. That was a whole different offense. This game now, they'll have to do what they did the last 2 games. Cam Newton, 135 passer rating. He has to be dynamic for Carolina to win this game.
He's got to be like the last 2 games, and Cam's got to be the MVP. And you know what? Because Fletcher Cox is coming back, it's hard to run the ball, so you got to spread them out and let's sling it Cam, because he can do that.
And you got to run that ball, too.
McCaffrey outside. You got to run it a little bit.
Cam has to run.
He needs some big plays in the passing game to score enough points.
And be careful.
And he's got big receivers to throw 50-50 balls to if he so chooses against the Philadelphia Eagles. Let's send things back out to Carolina and James.
Only Rich Eisen could come up with that comment. All right, folks, turning now to news involving Cowboys running back Ezekiel Elliott. His 6-game suspension has been reinstated. Earlier today, a federal appeals court ruled in favor of the NFL and lifted a lower court's injunction on the ban. Now, last month, a district court judge put Elliott's ban on hold after agreeing with the NFLPA that Elliott did not receive a fair appeal hearing. The league initially suspended Elliott back in August, that after a year-long investigation into a domestic violence accusation. The latest federal court ruling means that Elliott could begin serving the suspension after the Cowboys bye this week. And in other league news, next week at the annual Fall Owners Meeting in New York, representatives from the Players Association will join owners to discuss how to move past the national anthem controversy. And next week's meeting will be part of the ongoing discussions between the league and its players about effecting social change. And we'll be back with more here from Carolina, that after this.
NFL Thursday Night Kickoff is sponsored by Gillette, the best a man can get. And by Progressive Insurance, handing off big savings to you.
It's 6 a.m. 40 million Americans are waking up to a Gillette shave. And at our factory in Boston, 1,200 workers are starting their day building on over 100 years of heritage, craftsmanship, and innovation. Today, we're bringing you America's #1 shave at lower prices every day, putting money back in the pockets of millions of Americans. As one of those workers, I'm proud to bring you Gillette quality for less, because nobody can beat the men and women of Gillette. Gillette, the best a man can get.
Brady and the Patriots battle their bitter rivals, the Jets. Then the Steelers look to slow down Alex Smith and the undefeated Chiefs. A spectacular doubleheader Sunday on CBS.
A beautiful Thursday evening here in Charlotte as we welcome you back. The 4-1 Panthers and the 4-1 Eagles both on the field for warm-ups. And folks, it is now time to look back at Week 5's razor-sharp rookies presented by Gillette.
Garrett checks in. First time he's in, the crowd roars. And they're going to get a snack. And it's Myles Garrett right away. How about that?
Touchdown, Houston. The bomb from Deshaun Watson.
Unbelievable. And that's 5 touchdown passes for the rookie.
Oh, my goodness. This Jones kid is electric. I believe the Packers have found a running back.
Leonard Fournette skies into the end zone.
This guy is impressive. He is the real deal.
Watch this. Are you kidding me? There's the icing on the cake.
And tonight we'll see the 8th pick of this year's NFL draft. That will be running back Christian McCaffrey. He's been used primarily as a pass catcher out of the backfield, but he already has a team-high 27 receptions so far. Coach, a perfect compliment to Jonathan Stewart.
You know what? They have not had this kind of back in Carolina. He is a perfect compliment, JB. You talk about a guy, not just as a runner, but they will line him up in the slot. They will look for matchup advantages from that standpoint because he's a very tough guy. He's like a receiver out of the backfield. In the backfield, he's very dynamic. And you talk about Curtis Samuel, another guy they drafted in early in the season. These are 2 speed guys. These are guys that give him a dimension. You talk about their tall receivers, Benjamin and Funches and Dixon, and they're going to get Greg Olsen back. I love what they're putting around Cam Newton right now, Con.
But, you know, I'm disappointed in the rushing game. 19th rushing with Jonathan Stewart, McCaffrey, and Cam's running the ability. He provides 40, 50 yards a game just off the scramble. And I don't like what they're doing. I think they could do much better than that. But also, he's going up against a #2 defense. You got to take a look at this Eagles #2 defense overall, 2nd, 4th, 3rd down percentage, 5th, 8th in red zone. You got to be kidding me? Curry, Jernigan, Cox, and Graham, man, these guys are flat out balling. But guess what? They're vulnerable versus the pass. 29th amongst the league. So Cam Newton is going to put that thing up today, baby.
I'll tell you what I like about Nick Cam right now is this with his offense, like you talk about, they are evolving. And I think what you're seeing is going to be a more balanced attack, more than you've ever seen from Panthers before.
All right, and we've got a lot more coming your way again as we get set for this matchup of two 4-1 squads here in Carolina after this.
Want to stay up to date? Hey Siri, show me the football schedule.
Wentz gonna go for it all. Caught for the touchdown.
Camp to the end zone. Touchdown, Carolina.
Hey, what a big time, boy.
To the guys in this league, man, I just want to say to you, let's take charge. Dare to be different. We're a village. I talked about it in the video. Let's step up and be a village of guys that make a difference. Let's change this world.
Panthers All-Pro linebacker Thomas Davis was a 2014 recipient of the Walter Payton Man of the Year Award, that for his work in the community through his Defending Dreams Foundation. He's now in his 13th season, all with the Panthers, and he shows no signs of slowing down on or off the field.
I've never viewed myself as the NFL player. You know, I'm a husband, I'm a father, I'm a brother, I'm an uncle. I am more than just a football player.
Plantanos. That means people who live in hot places.
We're a family of 6, 4 kids, 2 boys, 2 girls, Thomas and I, and we have a dog, so 7.
Hey, baby.
How are you?
Tired. Long day at the office. You know, as parents, it's important always for you at the end of the day to let them know how much you love and care for them. Elbow up. Come on. You ready?
Elbow up, Maddie.
For me, I didn't grow up with a father in the household, and I didn't have that love and support. I don't ever want my kids to feel like that. There you go.
There's an opportunity for me to be at a practice, for me to be at a play or a cheerleading event, that I'm going to be there.
Give me high five. I'm stepping back. I'm watching y'all. Somebody coming up to block you, you got to use your hands. Use your hands to get off that block. Playing linebacker, you can't have dirty eyes, right? If you're in man coverage, you got to get your eyes to your man to make sure you cover him, right?
Yes, sir.
You got to make sure you go to sleep the night before the game, and you got to come, you got to be ready to play. All right? So let's go. Let's go. Bring it up. 1, 2, 3.
I know that family drives him, and he's showing his kids what hard work is, and also proving to them that you can do stuff when people tell you you can't.
Start the numbers game. It's definitely a tag team when it comes to supporting our family and taking care of our kids.
I call it organized chaos.
She got to take those out, too.
Yeah. Her braids?
Beads.
The beads? Why?
For softball.
They told her that? Why?
Because it's like having on jewelry.
Oh, no.
I'm telling you what the dude said.
No, who said that?
You're not.
Listen to me.
The umpire said that.
I don't care what the umpire said. Is it in
Ain't neither one of y'all the umpire, so y'all can stop.
Read the guidelines. If it's not in the guidelines, keep her beads.
I love it. I love it. Being able to put them in the bed at night, kiss them, tell them I love them. You know, that's special for me.
My passport home without you close.
Give me my kiss, little girl.
I can't go on.
All right, it's time for y'all to go to bed. Make sure y'all get together and say y'all prayers. Good night. We love y'all.
My God, that's a nice house.
Looks like yours.
Yeah, Thomas is living good. Let me tell you something. That's just not who he is on camera. That's who he is off camera. A husband, a father, an entrepreneur, a businessman, an athlete, a community catalyst. He's a way maker. He's a truth teller. He's a godly man. That man is all of that, and I respect him in its totality.
You know, Brian, he's the heart and soul of this football team. This guy's had 3 ACL injuries on his knees. And you talk about linebacking core, maybe the best, arguably, in the National Football League. Luke Kuechly, Thomas Davis, and Shaq Thompson. All 3 of them are first-round picks. They have great instincts, great size. guys, and they can run, and that's the heart and soul of his third-ranked defense.
You and I co-emceed a banquet one time before. You said that's the NFL. He represents the NFL.
No question about it, JB. That's the majority of the NFL.
All right, back with more after this.
NFL Thursday Night Kickoff is sponsored by Bounty, the quicker picker-upper. Cricket Wireless, something to smile about. And by Corona Extra, who invites you to find your beach.
Anticipation building here in Charlotte for tonight's matchup. In Carolina's place kicker Graham Gano has 23 touchbacks and 25 kickoffs this season. He's converted 12 out of 13 field goal attempts through the first 5 weeks. No doubt his biggest boot of the season, this Week 4 game winner against the Patriots in Foxborough. Meanwhile, the Eagles' kicking game seems to be on solid ground with their rookie, Jake Elliott. He replaced Caleb Sturgis, who was injured in Week 1. And boy, has he taken advantage of that opportunity, because just in a few short weeks, he's rapidly becoming a Philly favorite.
It's time to talk about the real star of the team. You know, the guy that with just one swing of foot can make everyone stand on 2 feet. That's right, the kicker. And this one is Jake Elliott. That's right, the guy with the racket, who in high school went from the tennis court to the gridiron and then kicked a 52-yard game winner at homecoming for Lyon Township. And I wouldn't be surprised if he did it shirtless and in slow motion, because he went to the same high school as Mr. Baywatch himself, David Hasselhoff. After that, it was on to the U of Memphis, where he was an academic All-America and never missed an extra point. He's so good. He was even drafted higher than Tom Brady. 17 years later, but let's not get carried away. Although Jake did get carried away the moment Jake's 61-yard Week 3 winner to beat the Giants. That alone might just get him a sandwich at Pat's.
Yeah, I have the number 4, the Philly Free Jake.
Okay, maybe not just yet. But that did give Eagles fans such a good feeling they may just be ready to welcome back Santa Claus.
Ho, ho, ho.
I'll tell you what, JB, hero today, go tomorrow. Remember, a week ago, we had Nick Folk miss 3 field goals and lost his job. So a game like this, it can come down to a field goal and a big kick.
He does voiceovers almost as well as what we just heard, Dion. No question about it. All right, folks, let's bring in our Thursday Night Football kicking expert. That would be Jay Feely, who's been keeping an eye on these guys in warm-ups. Hello, Jay.
Hello, JB. It's about time we give the kickers some love on this show. 2 guys who've been the best in the NFL. You saw how clutch they've been, but we all know kickers are defined by how they handle the pressure and adversity. Both these guys have been through adversity. Jake Elliott gets drafted in the 5th round by the Bengals and then cut, the dejection. He told me he didn't know what to do. He was shocked, but he came back, goes to Philly, and in his second game, he gets a 61-yard game winner and gets carried off the field on his teammates' shoulders. I never got carried off the field after game winner, but pretty cool. And then the other side, Graham Gano. Trouble last year, missed 11 kicks, wasn't sure what was going to happen. They drafted a kicker in the 7th round, but he beat him out, won the job, and has rewarded their faith. Has been one of the best. The only miss this year was from 55. In a game like this, when you have 2 teams that are so good, so tough, so close, it could come down to one of these great kickers.
Hey, but Jay, you were an A-plus student as well. All right, folks.
And also, there's a guy that's going to be a difference in this game. That's LeGarrette Blount. He's averaging 5.8 yards per carry. He is the closer for this Philadelphia Eagles team, sets the tempo.
Nobody wants to hit that guy right there, Coach. Jalen Mills, second-year quarterback from LSU, 1 interception on the season, 8 passes defense. That's tied for 4th in the NFL. I like his game, Coach.
You know, the oldest guy in this field is not a kicker, as we just talked about. It is this man right here, Julius Peppers. He's 37 years old, leads the team with 5.5 sacks, has found the fountain of youth, and I'll tell you what, he is pleased to come back here. It's called that the circle of life. He started his career here, and he's finishing his career here.
Well, it's no secret. We're not doing really well at Florida State this year, but this guy right here did. I mean, he is balling. First TD of the season Sunday, leading with 272 yards, receiving only 17 receptions on the season. But, Coach, he's averaging 16 yards a catch. That's Cam's go-to guy.
Dion said he doesn't want to hit him because he's like a runaway manhole cover. Back with more after this.
Nobody want to hit that.
Let's go! Let's go! Who's ready to start the show? Let's go! Let's go! Let's go!
Thank you for watching watching NFL Thursday Night Kickoff, presented by Gillette.
Tonight, football starts here in Charlotte, North Carolina. It's the Philadelphia Eagles and the Carolina Panthers, a battle of 4-1 squads who are ready to light the night up.
It's Thursday night, sun's going down. It's what you feel when you light this down. The skies will open, stars will shine bright. We won't forget what happens tonight. I'll go left, you'll go right. We'll meet in the end. On the electric tonight, 'cause I feel it again. We won't stop till we're there, and our feet hit the ground. We're cheering tonight, and we're loving the sound.
Let's go! Thursday Night Football, and here we go. Cam has an opening, and it's a touchdown. This place is rocking right now.
Welcome to NFL Thursday Night Kickoff, presented by Progressive Insurance.
Panthers fans are ready for their team's primetime showdown against Philadelphia, and so is Eagles quarterback Carson Wentz. He guides the NFC's top-rated offense. Last week, he threw for a career-high 4 touchdowns, that in a win over the Arizona Cardinals. His top target, that will be tight end Zach Ertz. He enters tonight tied for the NFC lead with 32 receptions. Cam Newton, on the heels of his demeaning remark to a female reporter, did not let his off-the-field issue affect his play on the field. He had one of his best games as a pro, tossing for over 350 yards and 3 touches in Carolina's win at Detroit on Sunday. Panthers tight end Ed Dixon, fresh off of his career best day, 5 catches for 175 yards. He's filling in for All-Pro Greg Olsen, who was placed on injured reserve after week 2. And through 5 weeks of the season, the Carolina Panthers at 4-1 sit atop one of the league's toughest divisions, which has produced the last 2 NFC Super Bowl representatives. In the East, the Eagles are flying high as well. They're riding a 3-game win streak into tonight's contest. Their only loss, a close one in week 2 at Kansas City. And hello, everyone. I'm James Brown alongside my guys. They will be Bill Cowher, the winner of Super Bowl 40, of course, and the Hall of Famer himself, Deion Sanders. Now, Cam Newton has no question about it. Prodigious athletic talent and skills on the field, fellas, but many feel he has some maturing to do as a leader.
I'll just say this, and Prime, you know this. Cam wears his emotions on his sleeve. You see it on the field. You see him out there dancing before the game the first time. It may agitate the opponent, but not his teammates. We see it after the Super Bowl. You see he mopes at times. And even last week, the incident with the female reporter. Now, he apologized, and he said he learned a lesson when you talk about it this week. And the fact that he's able to talk about it again this week before the game tells me that he is still maturing, and hopefully he's still learning. He's only 28 years old, and he still is the face of this football team. So I think he's understanding, and I think he's getting better.
Correct me if I'm wrong, Coach. Behind every public success, there's someone struggling privately. And see, a lot of these guys, they want the light, but they got to understand this same light that causes you to shine also shows your blemishes. Cam Newton is maturing. We expect a lot out of him. We want a lot out of him. He expects a lot out of himself. But you got to understand where he matriculated from. Cam is from the A, Coach. When you're from the A, baby, that's how you grow up. You grow up showboating and high side and showing who you are and what you have and what brought you there. I mean, it's like a proud look and a proud stance to come out of the hood.
But yours you would like to see, Prime, is him standing up on that podium.
Right.
I understand that being the face of the team, you have to be more consistent. Be able to deal with the highs, that's easy. But you'll be more defined by how you deal with the adversities, and time will tell with that. But I will just say this about Cam. He had no training camp. He had his off-season shoulder surgery. He didn't work in training camp. He started to ease into in the regular season. In these last 2 weeks, you've seen him with full weeks of practice, and you have seen the results. You're looking at a quarterback who's put up 7 touchdowns touchdowns. Nothing more evident than last week. 3rd and 19, 3rd and 9, trying to close out this game against the Detroit Lions. He sits in the pocket. We've seen him running, but the arm strength is back. The big receivers are back. You can see right now, Kingdom McCaffrey, he's got more weapons. He is very, very confident right now. He's got that swagger back.
And you got to remember, he was the #1 pick overall. So the expectation of Cam Newton is extraordinary. Let's not forget, Cam does have an MVP trophy in his crib, right?
Well, he does.
I mean, he was pretty darn good.
And think about it on the other side of the ball. You got a young quarterback, second year, Carson Wentz, 10 touchdowns, 3 interceptions. So you talk to Doug Peterson. Doug, what is the difference with this guy from last year, this year? He says he knew that he learned the offense last year. He understands it this year. As is evident right there, 3rd down. He knows who his people are right now. He knows where to go with the ball. He's been very efficient. This is a good defense, so he's going against tonight.
Defensive back from the Carolina Panthers, Captain Mullerton, stopped by. And what he said, this is not the same kid that I played against a year ago when I was in Minnesota. He does not want to take sacks. He's throwing the ball to everybody, and his running ability separates him. So this guy is definitely a problem. But LeGarrette Blount, 5.8 yards a carry. Coach, they got to get this guy the ball.
I tell you, bringing in LeGarrette Blount and Alshon Jeffries has given him another dimension to this football team.
I flat out love the passionate portrayals that you both can give with your football insight. No doubt about it. All right, folks, for more on the Eagles offense, let's send it over to our Tracy Wolfson. Tracy?
Well, thanks a lot, JB. I had a chance to speak with head coach Doug Peterson yesterday, and he said the key to this game, the key to the offense will be balance, being able to move the ball in the air and on the ground, something they've been able to do the last few games with success, and the success has certainly come through Zach Ertz. The chemistry between Carson Wentz and Zach Ertz is undeniable, but one of the big things is the addition of Alshon Jeffrey has helped take defenses away from him, but the Eagles told me this week they're expecting a lot more from Alshon Jeffrey. Peterson told me he wants to get him the ball. They have to make a conscious effort. And remember, this is kind of a homecoming for him, having grown up in South Carolina. And then you mentioned LeGarrette Blount. Well, they are without Wendell Smallwood tonight with a knee injury. But Peterson told me he is completely confident that Blount can carry the load. Peterson said they need to be patient with the run game. Balance will be key tonight, JB.
Well, speaking of carrying the load, certainly Tracy Wolfson does an excellent job with that.
I just think there's 2 X factors in this game. I think Kenyon Barner, look for this kid right now. He's a punt returner, kickoff returner. Look for him potentially on 3rd down with Smallwood on. And on the other side, Christian McCaffrey. I'm going to tell you, Christian McCaffrey can be a matchup nightmare. And I look for him to maybe line up out of the backfield prime and try to get the matchups they have, particularly given Ed Dixon's big game last week. That could open it up for him.
Philly leads the league in time of possession. And for them to be victorious tonight, they must continue to do so. But guess who's number 2? The Carolina Panthers.
So now they've given you all of what they know. Let's find out when we come back who they pick, why they like it after this.
It's a touchdown, Carson Wentz. Hinkley into the end zone.
Where are we? About to see Progressive's new Home Quote Explorer, where you can compare multiple quote options online and choose what's right for you.
Whoa.
Flo and Jamie here to see HQX. Flo and Jamie, request entry. Slovakia. Triceratops. Tapioca. Racquetball. Staccato.
Me llamo Jaime.
Pumpernickel. Pudding.
Hey, guys. Home Quote Explorer. It's home insurance made easy.
That's what it is. Hey, guys.
Back here in Charlotte, folks, we are just about 15 minutes away from the matchup between Carolina and Philadelphia. Time to welcome in our friends from NFL Network, Marshall Faulk, Steve Smith Sr. Who do you like by what score, Marshall?
Tough game, but I'm going to go with Carolina tonight, 27-20.
I'm going to go with Carolina as well, 27-23.
You have to go with Carolina because you live here.
You have to go with Carolina. Don't get it twisted. Nothing.
I have to go with nowhere.
You just did. You know, you don't believe in Carolina.
I'm going to
You don't believe in Carolina.
I'm going to the Eagles. Change my tune. 27-23.
Don't let them bully you. No, that's the truth.
I'm going with the Eagles. Switch it to the Eagles now.
Thank you.
Switch it to the Eagles.
right, so
don't let them bully you.
Switch it to the Eagles. He did the right thing. You did the right thing, Steve.
Listen, the battle within the battle. The two guards in the Carolina Panthers, Turner and Trey Turner and Norwell, going against Fletcher Cox and Jernigan.
Get your popcorn.
I'm telling you what, that's where the game, watch the game within the game. I like Carolina 20-17, but I tell you what, this game is for men. It's played in the trenches. So all these receivers and DBs up here, that game, watch the game right next to the center.
I don't have nothing profound or prolific to say like Coach just uttered. I'm just going with Carolina because I like Cam tonight, all right? Whenever his back is up against the wall, he balls. Whenever he's up under pressure and scrutiny, he balls. 24-18. Carolina.
So you gonna make
They will.
change his pick, and now you go with Carolina?
He only picked because he know he lives
You
there.
don't know
This is
this
like
man
if
like
I was
that.
in Atlanta and Atlanta's playing against Tom Brady. I got to pick Atlanta, but I really believe in Brady.
I just switched it. Hey, I'm already.
You're right.
Switch it. Switch it.
Who's the best receiver on this field tonight, Steve Smith?
Steve.
He's sitting right here.
I have one question going out. Dion, Coach, and Marshall. Wasn't Steve Smith quiet and easy going on the field?
Oh, no.
Please, Steve
No.
Smith.
No.
Hey, that's it for us. We take you now to Jim Nantz and Tony Romo.
All right, Jay. You guys are having too much fun. Awesome stuff. What a matchup we have tonight. 4-1 Philadelphia, 4-1 Carolina coming up on Thursday Night Football. And hello, friends. Jim Nantz along with Tony Romo and Tracy Wolfson and Jay Feely. Both of these teams off to blistering starts and coming off big wins just 4 days ago.
Wentz, look, fire, inside the pylon to Trey Burke, into the end zone goes Zachary. Touchdown, Corey Smith, in for the touchdown. Newton shovels it up to McCaffrey out of nowhere for a touchdown. Devin Funchess. Down far left side, one-on-one, touchdown, Kelvin Benjamin.
Who said Cam Newton's not back?
They are both on a roll. They are both dynamic, and I believe, Tony, they are capable of having a very big season in the end.
I think you're exactly right. You're looking at two teams 4-1. These are the class of the NFC right now, and tonight you're going to find one of them takes that next step.
And when you look at them, there's something that's just so similar when you look at both sides of the ball.
These two teams are a mirror image of each other. On offense, on defense, when you put the tape on, they want to run the same type of systems, the same play-action game. I mean, it's really unique that you have this similarity this much. The front seven on both sides, the defense, outstanding.
All right, the quarterbacks. Let's start with the visitors. Carson Wentz, if I've learned one thing, it's you talk about that improvement from year one to year two, and we're seeing it right here.
You're seeing it. All the great quarterbacks, you got Brady, Rodgers, Manning, they all had that big quantum leap early in their career. Carson, you're seeing that this year. Not just in his stats or not just the eye test, but situationally. Third down, he's as good as anybody in the NFL right now.
Cam Newton's done a lot of big things in his career, including winning the MVP award 2 years ago. But these last 2 weeks at New England, at Detroit, sensational numbers and big road wins.
Oh, my gosh. This is the best that I've seen Cam Newton play, really in his entire career. You see, they made a concerted effort to go out and get playmakers and let him just throw the ball and get it out of his hands quicker. You're seeing him get it to them and let them do the work.
Well, let's take a look here, Tony, at the TNF Stars presented by Progressive Insurance. Devin Funchess has become a sudden force for the Panthers.
Yes, he has. And Devin Funchess has 3 touchdowns in the last 2 weeks. You're seeing a lot of trust out of Cam Newton going to him. He's big. He's physical. They have a lot of size at the wide receiver position.
And then, of course, you got Luke Kuechly. What can you add about him?
Well, this guy's on his way from Carolina to Canton. First 5 seasons in the NFL, no one's played better. He's the prototypical middle linebacker, and he makes all the calls for him. You're going to see a chess match today between him and the quarterback.
One of the things about Philadelphia and for Carson Wentz, he's got targets like Alshon Jeffrey and Zach Ertz, who has suddenly put up incredible numbers. Best of all the tight ends right now as far as numbers.
Since last December, Jim, no one has more receptions. That Antonio Brown, nobody. This guy is their go-to player. It's opened up having the guys outside they brought in. One of those is Alshon Jeffrey. They brought him from Chicago. Big red zone threat. They didn't have that guy outside last year to take on little corners. They have him now. There's a ton of weapons on this offense.
All right, Tony, we got a couple of divisional leaders. I know it's just the start of week 6, but these teams are looking good. I can't wait to see it unfold.
Let's go. Going to be fun, Jim.
Let's go, folks. Thursday Night Football's coming up from Charlotte, Philadelphia, and Carolina coming up shortly. nice 74-degree night. We're in uptown Charlotte at the stadium that opened back in 1996. Getting set for Philadelphia and Carolina. Let's go down to the sidelines and check in with Tracy.
Thanks a lot, Jim. Both quarterbacks coming off their best game of the season. For Carson Wentz, it's been all about command and composure. Command at the line of scrimmage. He's been able to do just so much more, given more freedom, and then composure. As Malcolm Jenkins told us, the guy just doesn't get rattled. As for Cam Newton, Ron Rivera telling us yesterday that he is healthy and in sync with his wide receivers, and that's because he's finally going through a full week of practice in that New England game, and that's because he had that offseason shoulder surgery. So a confident Cam Newton. One note for the defensive tackle of the Eagles, Fletcher Cox, is active tonight after missing the last 2 games, Jim.
All right, Tracy, and for the 4th consecutive time when they've met, they will meet in prime time. Philadelphia and Carolina coming up on Thursday Night Football.
Thank you for watching the NFL Thursday Night Kickoff Show. Presented by Progressive Insurance.
And now I help people find discounts like paperless, multi-car, and safe driver that help them save on their car insurance. Any questions? Yeah.
How do you go to the bathroom?
Great. Any insurance-related questions? Mm-hmm.
Do you have a girlfriend?
I'm actually focusing on my career right now, saving people nearly $600 when they switch. So...
Where's your belly button?
I've got to start booking better gigs.